Thanks for stopping by the MinnesotaBlack RobeRegiment channel. As always, subscribe or follow and leave feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about when it comes to how we approach what it means to be a constitutionalist or a patriot. I think, understandably, much of what we say or do is tied into support for President Donald Trump right now. This is coming from a guy who 4 years ago didn't vote for him. And so I can appreciate and understand people's desire to see the president fight, if you will, to stay in office, especially when there is a perception out there that there's something fishy going on. And that's all well and good. As everyone says, everyone's entitled to their opinions. You're just not entitled to your own facts. Now, I'm not here to hash out facts. And I'm not here even to persuade or dissuade anybody from supporting the president. Once again, I voted for him this go around for a number of reasons. But what I would like to see us do as patriots and constitutionalists, what I'd like to see us do, really focus on, is not making it so vitally important to support President Trump to be a patriot or a constitutionalist. So what do I mean? What I mean is when we go to a rally, let's say we go to a rally for reopening Minnesota, should the entire tone and tenor of that rally be Trump chants and Trump flag waving? I would say no, because there can be people on the other side of a line who maybe didn't vote for Trump. Maybe there are people who would like to join us who didn't vote for Biden but didn't vote for Trump because they couldn't bring themselves to vote for him, who are still patriots, who are still constitutionalists. There are people in the Constitutional Party of the United States. There are libertarians in the Libertarian Party who don't care for President Trump, who are still constitutionalists, who are still patriots. So when we make being a patriot, when we make patriotism about Donald Trump, and that only a true patriot or only a Trump supporter can be a true patriot right now, we are isolating not necessarily a large segment of society, but we are isolating and alienating a certain segment, a certain portion of society. And we can't do that. You know, consider the older people, the elderly people who have always voted Democrat. They, for lack of better terminology, have never put a lot of thought into whether or not they adhere to the policies and the platforms of the Democrat Party. But because they grew up in a time and a place where voting meant you voted for a Democrat, and let's be honest, there are people who vote Republican for the same reasons. I've always voted Republican, and I will continue to vote Republican, whether I understand their policies or not. There are people on both sides of the aisle, if you will, who vote that way. But I personally can attest to the fact that I've talked to numerous people this year alone who have always voted Democrat and are yet terribly concerned with the direction of the country and the actions and the decision making that has been done by people who claim to be Democrat. But they don't understand that voting Democrat is right now dangerous. But they would love to be part of pushing for a constitutional republic to survive. So once again, we have to ask ourselves, not just about optics, but we have to ask ourselves, is waving a Trump flag when you're rallying to see our governor, in particular here in Minnesota, stick to and adhere to the Constitution as he is required to do, is waving that Trump flag really sending the message that I'm a patriot and I'm a constitutionalist? Or is it sending the message that I'm just a Trump supporter? Now, there again, I am a Trump supporter. But what message do I want to send? Do I want constitutionalists and patriots, or do I want just Trump supporters? Because frankly, I have been places where I don't want to be affiliated with some of the people who are associating themselves or supporting Donald Trump. Just like there are people who are Democrat who don't want to be affiliated with Joe Biden. And they don't want to be affiliated with people who support him. Think, there are many Democrats who despise Antifa as much, if not more so, than you do. They despise leftists, and they wish they could get their party back. Another thing that we have to do as patriots, and this is so important, we have to stop denying that COVID-19 is real. You sound like idiots when you yell at somebody and say it's all a conspiracy. COVID-19 is real, people. It's real. Are people dying? Yes. Is it the dangerous virus that everybody makes it out to be? No, but it's real. And there are people who are dying from it, and there are people who are dying with it. And when we go to a rally, or when we get into a conversation with someone, or even when we're debating someone or arguing with someone, and our response is, take off the mask, it's not even a real virus. You sound like an uneducated, blithering idiot. And it's not helpful, and the optics are horrible. As much as we despise mainstream media, the last thing in the world that we need to do is be giving or handing to mainstream media the weaponry that they're going to point back at us, and that is the idiots amongst us. So standing there, waving your Trump flag and screaming that the virus isn't real and it's all made up and it's all a farce and it's all a sham, you are destroying the movement you claim you're supporting, because you're making us all look like morons. It's real. COVID-19 is real. People are getting sick from it. We've probably all been exposed to it. Some of us have had it. Some of us are probably carrying the antibodies for it. And that doesn't mean, when I say this, that I think it's okay for the governor and everybody else to be doing the things that they're doing, because I don't. But damn it, people, stop denying its existence. Stop claiming it's all made up. Because you make the rest of us who are reasonable, you make the rest of us who are intelligent, you make the rest of us who know how to use logic look like idiots. And I'm quite frankly sick of it. If there's been one thing that has made me not want to go to a rally, it's all the morons screaming, it's not real. So yes, optics matter. They do matter. Because the optics that you put out there say a lot about who you are as a person. So we need to think. We need to be the group that's inclusive. We need to be able to reach out to people who maybe don't agree with us on everything, but want to be part of a patriotic movement, who want to be part of recapturing what it means to be constitutionalist, And we need to have that in mind, because that's the optic that matters. That's what is important. Win or lose, we still have a constitutional crisis that we're dealing with. Whether Trump takes office or Biden takes office, what matters is the constitutional crisis that we're facing. What matters is the loss and the erosion of our liberties. And we need to be considering, who are we alienating when we make being a constitutionalist and make being a patriot solely about supporting Donald Trump? Resist tyranny. Rise up, Minnesota, but link arms with people who you don't necessarily think would make good allies right now. Think, then rise up and resist tyranny.